All right, just a rundown here what these do. So without looking at the graph, f of x plus 1, that there, it moves it to the left 1, moves the whole graph to the left 1. Okay, so let's actually look at the graph now. If I'm moving to the left 1, that point will go over here. So we're going to have that point there. This minus 2 is going to go over here. This positive 2, y value here. So that the hump part is going to be up here. Good luck with me drawing it. So this is where it's heading upwards or something like this. All right, so it's moved to the left one. This one here, okay, if it's outside the bracket, it's always a vertical movement, or we can talk about it as a vertical movement. So here it's going up 1, so each point is going to go up 1. So if I grab this one's going to go up to 3. This point is now up to 1, so it's going to cut through here. This point now is at 1, so it comes down. Well, that was terrible, but you get the gist. This point is now up 1, so it's coming up like that. So it's all up 1. Okay. All right, the third one, it's in brackets. So when it's in brackets, I know it's a horizontal movement. So what's happening horizontally for this one is it's moving across 1 in the positive directions, because 1 minus 1 is 0 to make that bracket 0. So 1, this point moves over to here. This point moves over to here. So it's going to go down like that. This point moves over to here. So, oh, goodness gracious. If you have trouble like me with your graphs, this point here is going to move over to here. There we go. So everything moves across 1. All right, the next graph, this one here, okay, so it's outside the bracket, so -1 means it moves it down. So everything moves down this time. So this point's going down 1. Oops, I should use a different colour. So that point's now going down 1. This point here is moving down 1. So it's going to go like that. This point here is moving down 1. So we're coming up to here. And this point here is moving down 1. So it's going to look something like that. All right, so you just got to practice those. Now, when it's inside the bracket and it's a negative x, like the next one, okay, what happens then? So if it, oops, lost my pen, try again. Here, this one. So E, it's inside. So I always think of inside as vertical movement, horizontal movement, sorry. So horizontally, we're looking at a reflection in the y-axis. So this one's a reflection in the y-axis, whereas when the negative's out the front, it's a vertical movement, so it's a reflection, but in the x-axis. So looking at E first, a reflection in the y-axis. Actually, looking at F first is easier, a reflection in the x-axis. You know, it's got to go through 2 here, got to go through 1 here, so that's easy. F's much easier, reflection in the x-axis. If I look at, I'll do it in blue, a reflection in the y-axis. So that point 1 is now over here, so it's going to go down like that. It's going to go over to 2 here, and then come back up like that. So that's its reflection in the y-axis. For G, it's got it out minus outside and inside, so it's a reflection in the y and the x-axis. Okay, so both axes. So, for example, I could take that blue one, which I've reflected in the y-axis, and I could now reflect it in the x-axis. So you could do one thing at a time. So reflecting in the x-axis. Now I've already done the y-axis. A bit hard to see, isn't it? It's going to go something like, oops, that. Yeah, so I'm now, so the blue one, remember, was my reflection in the y-axis. So I reflected in the y-axis and then reflected in the x-axis. Or you could take the yellow one, which is reflected in the x-axis, and then reflect it in the y-axis, and you'll still get that same graph.